Welcome back. Didn't see you there. Yeah, I got time. Today, we're going to talk about gaming backlogs. So, I've been doing a lot of research recently on ways to tackle my backlog. I have probably 80 games on Steam that I own, combined with the Steam family that I'm a part of. It's a lot of games because they have 40, 50, 60 games that we don't share. So if you do share a game with someone on Steam, they kind of condense them together and so it doesn't obviously fill up your library more. But yeah, I have a lot of games on Steam. I have a lot of games on the Switch. I have some games on the 3DS. Some games on the DS. I gotta play. And that doesn't even cover emulation stuff. But yeah, I still even have some games that are sitting in plastic. Mostly just because I've been trying to collect more physical media as well. But yeah, where do you even start? What do you do if you have a gaming backlog? Where do you jump? One thing that I found that is super useful is create a spreadsheet with a lot of your games in it and ones that you want to play. And I feel like you could categorize them in the very interested in playing, not as much interested in playing, forgot I even bought. And you can kind of mix and match. Let's say on Tuesday, you're I got 30 minutes to spare. And also, too, set a dedicated time in at least 30 minutes. Just play for 30 minutes. And just be all right, for this 30 minutes, I'm going to play this game. And maybe on a day where you really want to invest some more time, you can be all right, I'll play 30 minutes of a game that I'm really interested in playing because I know that when I start playing it, maybe I'll want to play for more than 30 minutes. You have a game that's, you forgot you bought, that 30-minute time is maybe a free little trial to play. Because sometimes you'll buy a game and if you play it for 30 minutes too, and especially if it's on Steam and you're not really feeling it, and it's, I think, the 2-year window for returns, just return it, get your money back. But a lot of times I think we fall victim into we buy the games that are on sale like that, oh, all my friends told me the BioShock games are awesome and the 3-game the collection is on sale for $10. Now I have both the remastered and the original. Don't know why, but I do. And you just have situations like that where you kind of get yourself into this, oh, now I have all these games. Especially too because I have a lot of free PlayStation games. I grew up primarily with handhelds until my sophomore year of high school, where I got access to a Switch and a PS4. I had an Xbox 360 before that, which I have probably the biggest library for. And I don't even want to think about touching that backlog right now. A lot of them are games that I ended up, I think, selling because I just never even wanted to play them. But yeah, I have a lot of other games on the PS store that they just gave me for free that I have no real interest in kind of playing. But, I do want to use my PS4 more. I don't want to just use it as the Bloodborne machine. So I feel like a lot of what I want to do is really kind of take the time to actually play those games. Two games that I really wanted to kind of, my two current plays are Silksong and Resident Evil Requiem. I've been a Resident Evil fan since I was 18. I've played all of the games. I bought Requiem when it came out, played it on day one, got busy. Bought Silksong when it came out. I started playing, again, Hollow Knight when I was 18. Things happen. Get busy. Work. Hanging out with friends, family. It happens. Not going to say that those times are any worse. Honest to God, I wouldn't change anything for the world. Those times I got to spend with friends, family, doing whatever, even just time with the cat. not changing that for anything, you know? I feel like those interpersonal connections are something where you kind of need. Obviously, you need social interaction, more evident now than ever. So I think for me, I just, when I do have that little bit of time to myself to kind of play games, play the games. Um, but yeah, I really want to kind of beat those games, especially because those are the two I've been playing the most now. I'm very early on. I think I'm farther in Silksong than I am in Requiem. In Requiem, I kind of like really start like the first sit down, I like really got into it and then have been struggling to kind of get back into it. Silksong, I've been more forward about getting back into it just because it's an easier game to kind of just sit down and play, where you can kind of just like the benches are more, you know, evident. It like saves your progress more easily, where in Resident Evil you kind of have to go to the typewriters and stuff. So for me, that game has been more digestible in the sense of I can attack it more properly. One game that I really need to finish, because I have this problem if I start a game, I'll get really far and then I don't finish it, is Tears of the Kingdom. I got all the way to Ganon. Haven't beat Ganon yet. And I've been having an amazing time with that game. I really think it's a lot of fun. Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. So you might be thinking, well, Michael, if Breath of the Wild is your favorite game of all time, why the hell haven't you beaten Tears of the Kingdom? And I was like, yeah, I got it on launch too. I ended up getting really busy in that time, and I was like kind of just exploring more stuff outside of just gaming in my room and like getting out, which is something that I've been trying to do more now too. A lot of it is trying to just like, you know, get out and do things. And a lot of it too is I still want to be able to play games, and that's why I've been using my Switch more, especially my Switch Lite, is, you know, playing those games outside and like on the when I'm on my way to somewhere. So it's definitely a lot about what I want to kind of like tackle first, and the aspect of my Steam library I think is going to be the harder one to do, especially because I already work at a desk 8 hours a day. So it's hard sometimes to get home from work and be like, oh, now I have to spend more time at a desk, where I'm like, that's why I kind of do other things first, and then I set that I'm gonna like, you know, start setting that 30-minute timer, hop on, play. And it could even just be too like, I think a big part of it for me is like multiplayer games as well are something that I want to kind of play more, because it's like it makes me feel more connected with my friends. So I want to set that 30-minute timer and go play either Overwatch or Valheim with my friends, which Valheim's another game which we started playing when it was still in beta back in 2020, 2021-ish. And I actually got to like DM whoever their social media team was, all of that. Awesome. Like, they are very nice people and the game's amazing. And they've added so much content to the game, and I think it's at full release now. And I was like, this is an incredible game. And I definitely should play more of that. But again, it's like setting that kind of time to really get into your backlog of things that you want to play. Because we have, I feel like especially people who are like my age, kind of that like early 20s, I'm almost, I'm halfway to 25 now. You have to like kind of like understand that like you have a lot of time, and we try to like fit so much in and do so much where it's like sometimes you just take a second, be like, all right, why am I worrying about what's gonna happen next week, or and just be like, what am I gonna do today? And that, like, you know, can be for games. What am I gonna do? Like, what do I want to play this afternoon? Like, set 30 minutes, just be like, what do I want to play? What am I feeling? It makes it so less stressful, because now you're thinking, oh, I gotta, because I've been seeing these content creators where a lot of them are actually like being like, oh, I want to reach this mark by the end of the year where I'm like playing all of these games, where it's like, to me, I'm like, oh, that's cool, but I don't know if that's realistic for where I'm at in my life right now, where it's easier for me to kind of set aside like 30 minutes to like 40 minutes to really just like kind of play a game and not feel as bound or like constrained to have to like, you know, play like, you know, oh, like I gotta do this for so long, where it's like, I don't want it to be kind of a confectionery experience in the aspect of not having actual enjoyment out of doing it, almost making it feel like a job, where it's like, no, I do want to play games. It's just, what do I want to play? And I'll just, having that 30-minute, it's like, I get that little bit of time in my day where I can just kind of chill and do whatever. But it's definitely something that I've been more inclined to want to do more recently, because it's something that makes me have that kind of sense of enjoyment, because it kind of gives me more control into my day, and like more control into the aspect of the how I want to spend my free time, because it's our free time at the end of the day. Whether you're getting out of work, school, your free time, you do with it what you want. And that is something that I've been trying to implement more in, what I do. Which, if you guys have any suggestions for how, ways to improve getting through a gaming backlog, if you're struggling with it yourself, or you're feeling overwhelmed, definitely let me know in the comments. Or even if you just have a game where it's like, it kind of got you out of that sense of like, you actually were like, the first game that brought you back to it, where you sat down for like maybe 5 hours and just were like doing it because it was like the best thing ever, something that kind of brought you that kind of same feeling that when you first really were in that time of your life where games were the primary thing that you were doing. I always am interested to see what people have to say, and it's gonna be a wild year in the aspect of, I'm gonna definitely come back to this like 5 months from now and kind of see where I'm at, of trying to see where I get and what I'm playing and how I'm enjoying it and things like that. But I hope you guys like this. I know it's kind of a little bit more of an unstructured ones. I mean, the last couple were unstructured, but at least I feel like the topic of what I had to talk about was a little bit more structured. This one's a little bit more loose. If it's more loose like this in the future, I'll probably have a script with it, just so it like streamlines my thoughts a little bit better. I also like just turning a camera and a mic on and talking to you guys, because I feel like I get that interpersonal connection where it's like, you get to kind of see how I think, how I portray my thoughts out. But I hope you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your buddy about it, be like, yo, this guy turns on a camera and just yaps about games, and I'm like, yeah, because I got time. You guys hear that? That's Sosuke?
I never tattled, even with the lasso. Me and we discussing over cash flow. Yeah, I'm a rapid tie, catch you on that back road. Capos, 10K, I'm with nothing, he the backbone. In your city, niggas mobbing like you cap on. Castro, bitches on my body when I'm back home. I with hitters every smile, we a cat bone. Bad bone, you know this shit inside me why I act wrong. From BK to the heights, on they last hold. From the BK to the heights, I got pass, bro. Cast on again to this right, you need a pass code. Act, bro, you brand nigga squad, and your fam on my mans, bro. Say you win a job, said a trap, for I can't go. I know how we fat getting smacked, no, I can't go. Now I really want the black on the Rango. I'm a